And good morning, and welcome to In the News with myself, Savvy Sapphire. Welcome to another week. We are on the 15th of November already. How was your weekend? Did you enjoy it? What did you get up to? Please don't forget to leave your name in the comments when you are coming to say good morning. Lovely to have you here. In this week's news, we've got quite a few items are here. So I hope that you are going to enjoy it and interact with me as well. If you're watching a replay, don't forget to type hashtag replay so I know who you are and I could come back and say hello and thank you for watching. In this week's news, as I said, we've got a plethora of news and also about what's coming up for 2022. Not only properties that are gonna be for sale, where to look for your investments in 2022. But we have also a company special offer, which I'll read to you at the end. I hope you stay to the end to hear what we have to offer for you. So in this week's news, agency news is agency identified plenty of price reductions even in today's market. The market has been soaring in the most of the country, but there's still locations where significant numbers of properties sell only after the price reduction. Birmingham Agency, Boroughs and Fosters has analysed the current property listings for homes that have been an asking price cut to highlight which regions offer the biggest discounts. Across Britain, those properties currently on the market and having been seen a drop in the asking price exceptions are an average 6% more affordable than when they first entered the market. This is an average of £18,000 reduction for home buyers looking to snap up a bargain. The regions in which the average price reductions is highest is in the northeast, where an on average asking price is reduced by 18.3%, with an average regional house price of 202,936. This marks a potential saving of £17,000. While in Scotland, prices reductions on average are 6.8%, with an average price of 184,149. The potential saving for buyers is 12,600. The West Midlands, 6.2%, offers savings around 17,200. The Northwest, 6.1%, offering savings around 14,300. Whilst in Yorkshire and Humber, also 6.1%, and Wales, 6%, offers potentially between 12,800 and 14,400 respectively. Elsewhere in the southeast, 6.6% offers savings of 27,400, and the southwest of 5.6% offers savings of 20,300. Despite having the third lowest percentage discount in Britain, it is just under 5.5%. London's highest price means this potential saving of 45,800, while the East Midlands of 5.2% and East 5.5% offers savings of 14,000 and 19,400 respectively. You can see that there's going to be a plethora of properties that are still on the market that you can still find that lucrative bargain for. I've just read it here. What do you think about these areas? Are you considering investing in any of these areas? Please share with me if you are. Another point in the news is about the shocking warnings bad EPCs would reduce value of older properties. Now, if you're not sure what an EPC is, it's an energy performance certificate. It's basically the ratings that you get for your house to show how you're saving energy on your home. A business analyst is warning that the growing emphasis on energy efficiencies for homes has spelled trouble for the value of older homes. The Office of National Statistics in a new report says properties in England overall have an average energy efficiency rating of 66 and in Wales 64. That means both are in band D on the energy performance certificate ranking. However, The government is targeting as many properties to hit the C band as possible by 2035. Band C begins at 69. The ONS reports says modern properties built after 2012 scored an average of 83, putting them in Band B, while those built in the 1900s have an average score of 54 in England and in Wales 51. Firmly, they're being put into Band E. Now, what does that mean to you? If your house is built where everyone's majority of people's houses are built in the 1900s, you have to bring your property up to the standard so that you can get in the band C where the government wants us to be. Someone commented and said a typical Victorian house property faced with installing its way from average from a band E to an average of a band C. This could prove too expensive, leaving the owners of these properties out in the cold. The government has set an energy efficient goal of getting many properties as possible up to band C by 2035. These figures show that the older houses, especially built in the 1900s, could cost improvements considerably to the homeowner. The government is considering encouraging people to take action by manipulating the mortgage market. Mortgage lenders could be forced to target lending on a more efficient home and encouraged to provide additional funds to people who can make improvements. They won't force anyone to make changes where it is unaffordable. However, if you're living in a Victorian semi with a rating of band E, you may well struggle to find a mortgage lender offering a competitive deal. When you come to sell, this could mean buyers are thinner on the ground, which is likely to depress the price. To make matters worse, the research has also shown the energy cost for people living in older homes is significantly higher. So those who are struggling to downsize from a Victorian property face an eye-watering energy bill while waiting for a buyer. What do you think about this? Do you think that you could bring your house up to a band C by the time the government, or do you really think it's expensive? There's a lot of ways that you can actually bring up your property to have its energy performance. And I suggest looking at how you can do this and start doing that now if your plans are to downsize, so it doesn't become a struggle. But having lagging in your loft, insulating your walls if you can, using energy efficient bulbs, cutting down little things, draft excluders around the doors, those are things that count towards your EPC. So make sure that you can look at how you can start saving money now. So when that time comes, if that time comes where you want to downsize, the bill is not so big to really get your property performing well. So in avenues, out of London hotspots for 2022 revealed by two major agencies. Strutt and Parker has revealed where it believes the housing market will see the largest demand in 2022 outside of London. The agency has already given headline figures for the mainstream housing market performance next year, up 7% on average, while in a prime central London agent anticipates a soaring 10% typical price. Now it looks outside of the capital as well. Kate Eales, Strutt's head of regional agency, says, beyond London, we have seen every part of the UK outperform it in terms of transactions in 2021, with coastal villages and Cotswolds emerging as popular hotspots. Going into next year, less traditional locations is like the Norfolk and Hertfordshire could be the biggest winners as buyers become more confident being further from London. Though we are not yet to fully understand the impact of lifestyle change for those moving out of the capital, One trend, however, that appears to here is to stay to more and more sellers are entering the regional markets, but supply remains constrained. Meanwhile, Savills have given regional forecasts for 2022 and the following years too. In its latest revision of its house price predictions, given where we are in the housing market cycle, the Northeast divide, the house prices look set to close further over the next 5 years. So here's some predictions. Northwest current average price is 229,572. And this average price over the next 5 years, it's predicted to rise to 272,732 pounds. The average price currently in July this year in Yorkshire and the Humber is 234,257. But in 5 years' time, that will now go up to 266,417. So you can see by just these couple of figures, there is going to be a significant rise. If you'd like me to send you this chart, please put in the chat that you'd like me to send it to you, and I'll send you over all the predicted figures for next year, where the properties are going to be rising over the next 5 years as well. We've got the Northeast, 181,001 in this current year in July, but it's going to rise in the next 5 years to 212,857. What does this mean to you as investors? It simply means that if you're holding it for capital rise, then you're going to be holding a property that you can get at a bargain price in these regions and leave it for appreciation over the next 5 years. And you know you've got equity instantly built in because of inflation, how it's been predicted here to be going up. In other areas they talk about is the Southeast. Currently, the Southeast price is on average in July 2021, 439,813. In 5 years' time, this will be 485,553. Again, you can see the significant rise. In London, the average price in here is 676,124, which will increase in 5 years' time, predicted to 713,987. What do you think about that? Do you think these predictions are right? Do you think you're going to start investing next year and look at your capital growth as well over this period of time? In 5 years doesn't seem long, does it? I mean, time is going, and when you've got holding an asset that is growing in equity, you know that holding it will be beneficial to you. In avenues, the strongest buyers and seller markets are right now. Rightmove has revealed the strongest markets for sellers and buyers is this autumn. Grays in Essex has topped the list of the strongest seller markets this autumn, with more than 8 out of 10 properties for sale on Rightmove already sold subject to contract. Chelsea in London is the top buyer market right now, with around just 1 in every 10 properties for sale as an SSTC. Available stock for sale across much of the country remains an historic low due to strong buyer demand. However, there are signs things are improving, with the number of homeowners asking agencies to value their properties up by 14% year on year. Strong buyer demand has led the autumn market as well, compared to around 2 homes earmarked last year. The mass market for house prices are on average 250,000 or below is performing stronger, with 8 out of 10 homes in this price bracket marked as well. Although the most buyers' budgets, the higher end flats mark the best places to negotiate. Just 14% of flats for sale at 1 million are more of 1 in 5 flats at 750,000 to 1 million price bracket. 7 out of 10 of the top buyers markets are in London, with two spent markets of inner and outer London against are once again emerging as a trend. In Chelsea, 1 in 10 properties compared with out of London, like Bexley Heath, with 8 in 10 properties. Rightmove says it is common trend in the high-end London market that house trends stay up for sale. So there's a pattern here of market. We've just gone through a whole plethora of the stamp duty holidays and being people snapping up properties at higher prices. But when you read this, there is a certain trend that's out there that's allowing properties to just fly off the shelf still, and you're finding lower stock still on the market. But in autumn, it's not really a time where people were selling, and now you can see that people are growing confident in the market and now willing to buy properties and sell their properties, no matter what time of year it is. So that is what I've discovered on this particular news item. So many tenants are interested in tidiness than electrical safety. This was a claim that was made. Are you surprised by this claim? A poll suggests that many private tenants admit to being more interested in tidiness of their property than safety within it. When asked what they prioritize when it comes to keeping their home safe from hazards, only 15% cited checking their electricity as top of their list of safety measures at their property. More considered the tidiness of their home more important. The poll also showed up that those living in rented accommodation did not fully understand their rights and the responsibilities of the landlords to maintain the safe standards when it comes to their electrics. Some 44% of respondents did not know that landlords had a duty of care to check electrics in their property every 5 years. The poll commissioned by electrical safety test providers Hexol Services gauged the attitude of 23,000 people questioned about keeping their home electrics healthy and safe. When it comes to homeowners who were also private landlords, some 53% were very concerned about checking electricity within the properties, and 90% of the landlords questions said they had the electrics checked within their properties. 37% of landlords had the electrics checked in line with the new requirements for the 5-year checks. Just 1 in 5 cited electrics as the most important thing to check in a rental. Gas came up as 28% of landlords citing that it's the most important check. 1 in 5 still placed tidiness of the property to be the number one. What do you think of this? Do you think, what order would you put it in for checking your own home? But also, if you're a landlord, what do you check most? I always do gas and electric safety in my properties to make sure that it's safe for my tenants. I also check the tidiness, that they're keeping the property tidy. In my own home, I do the same, gas, electric. I check all my pipes, my roofing. I do a constant check to make sure that my property is well kept from the outside in. Because if you do that, then you won't incur problems later on. That could be very costly problems. So write yourself a list. Make sure that if you're a landlord, make sure that you've checked all of your properties as well, to give your tenants a good home to live in. And yes, we all want a tidy home for our tenants and ourselves. So make sure that you can also get them to make sure that the home is tidy while you make sure the home is safe. In avenues, property investors, they're back. Parents are buying buy-to-lets for their student offsprings. The once popular idea of parents buying a property for their offsprings is used while at university, and then letting it out to other students appears to be making a comeback. The trend was popular until heavy duty buy to let regulations and reduced tax rates came into effect some years ago, along with the emerge of more purpose built student accommodation. But now, research from online mortgage brokers, Trisel, suggests that as many as 66% of parents are considering purchasing a buy to let property near their children's university to alleviate living costs during their studies. The survey was completed by 2,000 homeowners with children and also found that of those surveyed, 53% of parents will consider downsizing to help support children through university. Trussell says that while taxes have been askew against buy to let in recent years, student buy to lets consistently space the rest of the private rental sector, outperformed the rest of the market as by 17.8%, 17.86% a rental yield. For those contemplating a buy-to-let property in a university town, Churchill has identified the top towns and cities that offer the best rental yields. Using the Times High Education Guide to calculate the property prices and rental yields in the top 30 universities across the UK. So here we have a table here. So Trisel has found that there are currently over 10,000 buy-to-let deals on the market from 71 lenders, with interest rates being really low. So universities ranked by city, city, town, highest prices, rental income, and rental income per month, per annum, and rental yields. Newcastle ranks Newcastle University ranked at the top. Newcastle town house prices averaging there 192,567. Rental income is 1,508. Rental income annually is 18,096. Rental yields is very good at 9.4%. So another university town, Southampton, average house prices is 235,911. Your annual rental income will be 21,084. Rental yields is 8.94. Cardiff University, average home price 274,531. Annual income 20,000. Excuse me, 20,976. Rental yields 7.64%. University of Reading, average prices, house prices 279,139. Your annual income will be 20,928, making an average, rental yield of 7.5%. And lastly, the University of Manchester, 246,473 is the house price. Annual rental income is 18,216 with an average rental yield of 7.39%. Now, if you're really looking to get back into the student market, whether you're buying for your young ones or whether you're buying it as an investment to rent out to university students, Newcastle, Southampton, Cardiff, Reading, Manchester University towns are the place to start looking to buy because it is back. Buying for your young ones is back, and there's loads of mortgage offers, rates on the market that you can look into as well. But these rental yields, especially in Newcastle, are really good. So have a look into it. And what do you think? Do you think that it is a comeback for students, for you buying your young ones their accommodation and then renting it out as an investment afterwards. I think it's a really good idea. And if you're a student landlord, it is a good idea to look at these areas for next year as well. In avenues, the government new tax system for Airbnb and holiday lets being finalised by the government. The government says it's finalising plans for a new tax regime to apply to additional homes and in particular those used for holidays and short lets. There has been widespread criticism of some holiday home owners who have registered their additional properties as businesses, thus making them entitled to rate relief for small business. A Lord speaking at the House of Lords debate on second homes has said the government have confirmed that we will bring in a legislation that requires that holiday rentals meet an actual letting threshold before being assessed as for business rate. This would ensure that only genuine holiday businesses can access the rate relief for small business. We will set out further details shortly, the government says, consultation response to this. Later in the debate, he also called that I point out that 96% of second home pay council tax in full, even though they may use local services only on an occasional basis. We believe that it is sharing the economy where people run businesses and meet the threshold. It is reasonable for those not to pay council tax and to be subject to business rates regiments. No local authority has lost out because they are covered by various grants in the business rate retention scheme. Various Labour peers spoke of what they claim to be the next tougher restrictions on the second homes in general and the tax that apply to them. So what do you think about that? Do you think it's unfair that, you know, the government's coming after people that are now renting second homes out on as service accommodations? Do you think they should even go after people because if they're not, I mean, they go after people if they're not paying the proper taxes or the rates that they're doing. But if you legitimately set up your business, what do you think about that in this space? So in avenues, new bank for buy-to-let properties investment sector. This is good news. A new bank called Monument is aiming at the property investors and established buy-to-let landlords seeking to grow their portfolios. Its launch statement says it will focus on some 4.8 million potential customers described as mass influencers. Property investors, landlords, and other entrepreneurs. Monument is offering clients buy-to-let and bridging loans to support experienced landlords to manage the growth of their portfolios. Clients will be able to borrow up to 3 million for buy-to-let investments, supported by specialist relationship managers with what they call is a deep experience of market and understanding of their clients' needs. The bank has already raised up to 60 million in capital via funding rounds, including one just finished with gathering 20 million. The chief excuse me. The chief executive of Monument says, we are ready and eager to serve clients who we believe have been lacking a bank that is being developed to serve their needs and services requirements. While they never planned to build and launch a bank in the middle of a global pandemic, the timing could not have been more relevant, as the demand for the comfort with digital finance has accelerated dramatically over the past 18 months. We are very excited to take our first step of addressing the substantial appreciation, hard-working, asset-rich, but time-poor community, which holds trillions in wealth in the UK and which lacks the right financial service partner. They say will be entirely focused on understanding their clients' needs and providing them with a great service, enabled by technology. Sorry, which they think will set to a new standard. Their goal is to create an institution that is truly understands this community, helps them to save and grow their wealth, but which also recognizes that there are more to wealth than money. Today marks an important step towards that achieving that goal and launching for their clients a fully licensed bank. In addition, the bank is developing further suites of auxiliary services specifically for the mass affluent, which will launch in due course. What do you think about that? A new bank being formed specifically. Now, this is not a new lender, this is a new bank. Like you have a high street banks, this is a new bank specifically for investors, entrepreneurs. I think it's fantastic because they're going to have people working for them that understands investors. They're going to know what investors' needs are, entrepreneurs' needs are, and be able to really give them what they need. Yeah, obviously there's going to be some teething problems at the front end, but they will get it right. They've built this with us in mind. And I've done, and I, for one, appreciate it, and I'm glad it's here as well. In avenues, um, sorry, let's have a look. Brownfield sites. What do you think of land building? Land plots currently account for just 1.4% of sales stock listed on the market, yet demand is high, with 55% of those already being snapped up by developers. In most recent budget, the Chancellor announced 1.8 billion of government's money to help fund the regeneration of brownfield land across the country as part of the mission to satisfy the ever intensifying need for new homes. The research that Cyrus Property Finance shows that the need for those additional plots to clear the current level accounts for a small proportion of overall residential sales listings. Across Britain, there are 677,533 residential property opportunities listed on the current market, with just 10,000, shy of 10,000 of these coming in the form of land plots available for development, equating to just 1.4% of the total market. What's more, 55% of those plots have already gone under offer or subject to contract. What do you think about this? Do you think there's a lot of land space that is available? Well, there isn't. I've got a table here that shows different land plots. If you'd like this table, please put it in the chat that you'd like the table. I won't read it because it's a very long table, but it's associated of where the actual plots are around currently in and around the UK. And you can see for yourself where they are situated as well. So have a look at that. Right, our last bit of news is my special announcement for you all. And don't forget, if you're on the replay, don't forget to type #replay. For those of you that are planning to start your property investment journey in 2022 and feel just a little bit overwhelmed on where to start, what you need, or how to find properties consistently, or even just setting up your business, I have some great news for you. And I wanted to share it on In the News. I'm thinking of creating something really mega for you all, and it's called the Property Investors Toolkit. If I created this simple toolkit that was a downloadable bundle with all of the required templates, databases, checklists, and it's a follow step-by-step process that will allow you to build out your property business successfully within 90 days, would you want it? That is working consistently for 1 hour a day to help you build out your business. Content is tailored for you in mind, the property investor, And this not only will help you skyrocket your investment business, but will also set you up for success. This is the same toolkit and all of the elements that I use to build out my property portfolio of 100 plus properties, and sold many great for profit as well. So I've done a lot of holding and a lot of selling, flipping, into those who understand what I mean. And I've also helped clients also build their portfolios to the tune of 3 million as well each. So if I'm using the toolkit on a daily basis, if my clients are using it on a daily basis, I know this toolkit works, and I know it will work for you, especially if you're trying to build your property business and haven't been quite successful, but really want to give it a go for 2022. So would you want it? Because basically the Property Investors Toolkit has all the stages for you setting up your property business with a simple follow workbook as well, and resources. It's an easy follow, mapped out process of action, ensuring that I've covered all the bases and you're covering all the bases for your property journey as well. It sets out how to plan your business with all looking at the various strategies, but based on your needs and affordability and your interest in the type of properties. So that could be HMOs, that could be service accommodation, co-living. It could be any strategy, but it sets out what is right for you and what is right for your finances. How to find and source below market value properties. You'd have access to a plethora of databases, how to access funds. You have a list of funders, legal documents, sourcing property funnel, and much, much more. We're doing a pre-sale of it for the grand total of, wait for it, because I know everyone's thinking, what is going to be the price on this? For £37. Yes, it's only £37. So if you want this bundle, please type in the comments below, yes, and I will reach out to you. But not only that, I'm offering, and it's only on the pre-sale, this will be sold as a separate bundle. I'm also offering 8 extra bonuses, like scripts to use for estate agents, direct to vendor templates that you send out to vendors, workshop, one workshop with myself on how to use the bundle to your best, the toolkit to your best advantage. I'm going to be showing you every step you need to take on this one-off workshop. I'm also going to give away my ebook. So there's so much I'm going to give away on the pre-sale. After the pre-sale, those extra 8 elements will be sold separately. So if you're interested in this bundle for the grand old price of £37, please comment in below and say, yes, I'm interested in this, and I will reach out to you. Thank you for joining me on today's news. I look forward to sharing more in the news with you next week. Don't forget, we're here every week on a Monday at 8 a.m. sharp. I always look forward to sharing your views and my views and hearing all of your comments that you have to share with me. Have a lovely day and have a grand old week. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye for now.